Welcome to Farming Aid.
Australia is famous for its cattle industry, but most people only know the big names like Angus, Hereford, or Brahman. What if I told you there are secret breeds hiding in plain sight, cattle so rare and unique that even seasoned ranchers have never heard of them? In today's video, we're diving into the hidden world of Australian cattle. They aren't just oddities, they're powerful examples of how Australia's history, science, and environment have shaped livestock in ways the rest of the world is only beginning to understand. If you've never heard of these breeds before, you're about to discover a side of Australian farming that will completely change how you see cattle. The Australian Lowline is perhaps one of the most intriguing stories in modern cattle breeding. At first glance, these cattle might surprise you. They are smaller than most other beef breeds, a trait that sets them apart instantly. Unlike the towering Brahmans or the broad-shouldered Herefords, the Lowline is compact, efficient, and almost underestimated because of its size. Yet, this breed is no accident. In fact, it was developed through a government research project in New South Wales, where agricultural scientists began experimenting in the mid-20th century. They were curious about how different sizes of Angus cattle performed in efficiency, meat quality, and grazing patterns. Over the course of several decades, researchers selectively bred the smallest Angus cattle from their herds. By the time the program ended in the early 1990s, what emerged was not just a smaller Angus, but a distinct new breed recognized for its unique characteristics. The Lowline quickly proved itself more than a novelty. These compact cattle thrive in conditions where larger breeds might struggle. Their smaller frame means they require less feed, which is critical for farmers trying to maximize efficiency on limited acreage. For homesteaders and small-scale producers, this was revolutionary. They discovered that lowlines could produce high-quality, marbled beef on pasture alone, without the need for intensive feeding programs. This opened the door to more sustainable and affordable beef production for families and small operations. Beyond that, lowlines gained international attention. From North America to Europe, niche farmers began importing them, recognizing their potential in grass-fed markets. Their calm temperament also made them popular for people new to cattle ranching, since they were easy to handle and less intimidating than larger breeds. But what really makes the Australian Lowline special is not just its utility, it is how it challenges perceptions of what cattle should be. In a world where bigger often means better, the Lowline proves that efficiency, quality, and sustainability matter more than sheer size. They carry the genetics of Angus, which is already prized for beef tenderness and marbling, yet they do so in a smaller, more resource-friendly package. In many ways, they represent the future of boutique beef production. As land becomes scarcer and environmental pressures mount, cattle like the Lowline demonstrate that downsizing does not mean compromise. Instead, it can mean smarter farming. For many who encounter them for the first time, the reaction is almost disbelief. They are seeing cattle that are not only unique in appearance but carry with them the story of how careful research and selective breeding can result in a breed that feels both traditional and modern at once. Moving from beef to dairy, the Illawarra breed tells a story that ties deeply into Australia's agricultural heritage. Unlike the Lowline, which emerged from deliberate scientific experiments, the Illawarra was born out of the efforts of everyday dairy farmers in New South Wales. The Illawarra region, with its rich pastures and moderate climate, became the cradle of this breed in the late 1800s. Farmers wanted cows that could not only survive but thrive in Australian conditions while producing large volumes of milk. To achieve this, they began crossbreeding several European breeds, including the Devon, Ayrshire, and Milking Shorthorn. Over time, the result stabilized into a distinct new type of dairy cow, and by the early 20th century, the Illawarra was officially recognized as a breed of its own. What makes the Illawarra extraordinary is its capacity to produce both quantity and quality. These cows are known for their high milk yields, often surpassing many other breeds in volume. Yet, unlike some high-output breeds that sacrifice richness, Illawarra milk maintains good levels of butterfat and protein, making it ideal for cheese and other dairy products. For dairy farmers, this balance is crucial. It means they are not just producing bulk milk for generic markets, but milk with qualities that open doors to premium dairy products. That is why in artisan dairy circles, the Illawarra is slowly becoming a breed of interest, though it still remains largely unknown compared to giants like Holstein or Jersey. The Illawarra's success is not limited to its production. These cows are also remarkably resilient. Australia's climate can swing from lush pastures to harsh drought, and dairy cows are often the first to show stress under tough conditions. Illawarras, however, are hardy. They adapt to pasture-based systems, do well under heat stress, and maintain production even when conditions are less than ideal. This resilience, combined with their docile temperament, makes them a pleasure to manage. Farmers often remark that Illawarras are not only productive but also calm, easy to milk, and dependable. For small dairy operations, where every cow matters, that reliability is priceless. Despite these advantages, the Illawarra has never broken into the mainstream spotlight. Holsteins dominate global dairy, Jerseys corner the market for rich milk, and breeds like Brown Swiss and Guernsey have their dedicated followings. In this competitive landscape, the Illawarra has often been overshadowed. Yet, its rarity is exactly what makes it so valuable today. As the dairy industry becomes more conscious of the need for genetic diversity, breeds like the Illawarra are being re-evaluated. Their unique genetic makeup, resilience, and production qualities mean they have something vital to contribute, not just to Australia, but to global dairy farming. While the Illawarra represents Australia's contribution to the world of dairy, the Belmont Red stands as a powerful symbol of beef innovation. Developed by the CSIRO, Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, in Queensland during the 1950s, this breed was specifically designed to tackle one of Australia's greatest agricultural challenges, raising productive cattle in the harsh tropics. Many traditional European breeds struggled in northern Australia. Heat, ticks, and parasites reduced their performance dramatically. On the other hand, Brahmans and other Zebu breeds thrived in the heat but often fell short in terms of beef quality. The Belmont Red was created as a solution to bridge this gap. Scientists began with Afrikaner cattle from South Africa, known for their heat tolerance and hardiness. They crossed them with Herefords and Shorthorns, aiming to combine tropical adaptation with strong carcass traits and fertility. The result was a breed that not only withstood the punishing conditions of Queensland's rangelands but also delivered consistent, high-quality beef. The Belmont Red quickly gained a reputation for its fertility, something that sets it apart even today. In cattle production, fertility often translates to profitability. A breed that can reliably calve every year, even under stress, provides a steady return for ranchers. Belmont Reds excel in this, with cows known for strong maternal instincts and bulls with high libido and longevity. Their adaptability also cannot be overstated. Northern Australia is a region where cattle must deal with searing heat, ticks, and fluctuating forage availability. Belmont Reds not only survive but thrive in these conditions. Their slick coat helps with heat regulation, and their genetic resistance to parasites reduces the need for chemical treatments. At the same time, their beef quality remains strong, rivaling that of European breeds, which often sacrifice adaptability for carcass traits. This balance makes the Belmont Red a hidden gem in the beef industry. Another remarkable trait of the Belmont Red is its temperament. Unlike some tropically adapted breeds that can be flighty or aggressive, Belmont Reds are generally quiet and manageable. This makes them easier to handle, which is a significant benefit for ranchers working with large herds in extensive conditions. Handling cattle safely and efficiently reduces labor costs and risks, and Belmont Reds deliver in this area as well. Despite all these advantages, the Belmont Red remains relatively unknown outside of Australia. While Brahmans and their crosses dominate tropical beef production worldwide, Belmont Reds are still a niche choice. This may be because they were developed for very specific Australian conditions, or perhaps because their story has not been told as widely as other breeds. Yet, for those who know them, they represent one of Australia's most important contributions to cattle breeding. Their ability to combine tropical adaptation with fertility and carcass quality is rare, and as global demand for beef continues to grow in hot climates, their genetics may play a larger role in the future. When you step back and look at these three breeds together, the Australian Lowline, the Illawarra, and the Belmont Red, you begin to see a pattern. Each arose from different needs, different environments, and different histories, but all share the common thread of being uniquely Australian. The Lowline emerged from scientific curiosity and a focus on efficiency. The Illawarra grew from the practical needs of dairy farmers seeking a cow suited to their environment. The Belmont Red was the product of targeted innovation aimed at solving tropical beef production challenges. Together, they showcase Australia's ability to not only adapt to its own diverse landscapes but also to contribute to the global livestock community in ways that are still being discovered. These breeds remain secrets to many, not because they lack value, but because the spotlight has been dominated by global giants. Yet, in an age where sustainability, resilience, and diversity are becoming more important than ever, these hidden cattle might just hold some of the keys to the future. The Australian Lowline shows us that smaller can mean smarter. The Illawarra proves that high production and resilience can coexist. The Belmont Red demonstrates that tropical adaptability does not have to come at the cost of beef quality. For farmers, ranchers, and anyone who cares about the future of food, these cattle are more than just curiosities. They are a reminder that sometimes the rarest breeds carry the most important lessons. So the next time you think of Australian cattle, go beyond the familiar images of Brahmins grazing under a hot sun or Angus herds filling lush paddocks. Remember that hidden across the country are breeds like the Lowline, Illawarra, and Belmont Red, each with its own story, its own strengths, and its own role to play in shaping the future of agriculture. They may not be the first names you hear when cattle are discussed, but perhaps they should be. After all, in their rarity lies their uniqueness, and in their uniqueness lies their power to inspire a new way of thinking about livestock. If you enjoyed learning about these rare cattle breeds, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more stories about hidden livestock gems, and drop a comment below. Tell me which of these breeds surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.